So we've come to see my mother, Robina Westbury, and she's not at home. This is her garden. Number 22 Athenry Court. Not number 22, number 2. What am I talking about? I'm number 22. That's the blue door. This is beautiful Cumberland Street. I think we'll go there through the Abbey Gardens. Here is a nice bench where you can sit. It's a nice place to sit. I'm making a movie. Here are the Abbey Gardens. But it looks to me as if we can't go this way. But you can see the church there if I zoom in. So this is the church. If we go this way, we can admire this beautiful clematis. I mean, look at the colours there, isn't that great? That's not clematis. See, someone's taken the trouble to put these plants out on a public footpath. Here's the clematis. Isn't this great? What a fantastic display. I like to take video in quite a crazy way, and then I can take stills, so I can go like this. I don't need to worry about being much of a photographer. I can just take the stills out of. What I do need to do though is frame it up, but even that can be corrected. In fact, here's some beautiful honeysuckle. In fact, I found that on my video editor I can actually rotate the video and zoom in on the video. Do you see that bee? Worry those balls might roll over and bonk me on the head. Here's another nice view of the church.
Morning.
Morning. Yeah, that looks fine, doesn't it? Now this house here, coming up on the left, is the old Quakers meeting house. It's privately owned now. Isn't that a nice house? Nice townhouse for somebody to live in. You see how Beautiful Woodbridges. What a great place for a painter. You have got the Woodbridge Watercolour Club down by the watermill. George Jones used to be part of that, and he was one of my first teachers. So here we are back again at the Quaker burial ground. O Lord, open unto me the gates of thy mercy. And here you'll see there's a tree. And Rob used to sing, she still does sing. I don't think I shall ever see a poem lovelier than a tree, and we named this tree Jack. This is Jack's tree. I'll read you a little. The Woodbridge Quaker Burial Ground, Quakers also known as Friends, established this burial ground next to the meeting house that they built in 1678. The first burial was in February 1698 and the last was in 1937. Records show that there were by then well over 350 burials in this relatively small plot of land. That only 19 stones stand here reflects early Quaker thinking that the marking of graves was a vain custom. Here, look. Vain custom. And in 1850 it was agreed the graves would be marked by a plain stone cut to a uniform design. Some stones were put up after 1850 to mark the graves of Quakers who had died earlier. The meeting house was used continuously by Quakers until 1935. It was sold in 1936 and a wall was built. That's the wall there. Where were we? It was sold in 1936 and a wall was built to separate the house from the burial ground, which has remained in Quaker ownership. The house was subsequently used for meetings of an evangelical church group and then as a business warehouse. It was converted into a private dwelling in 1972 and is not open to the public. So this house is not open to the public. Costly repairs to the boundary walls were needed in 2003 and were made possible by funds from local residents and the Local Heritage Initiative. Burials no longer take place on this site, but since 2002 some friends' ashes have been scattered here and their names are recorded on plaques on the wall to the right. It says here, nowadays there are Quaker meetings locally at Woodbridge held in the Shire Hall, Ipswich, Felixstowe and Leiston. For further information, I'll show you the plaques on the wall on the right here. This is the bench where we like to come and sit. It's a nice bench. And there's another bench over there. By the tree which we call Jack's tree. You see, that's a lovely bench. But to the right of this bench, on this wall, if we look around, That's the gate we just come through on this wall down here. We have the plaques. We have Anthea Isabella Webb. And going back in time, we have Anthony Richard Beck. And back to 2002, we have Elaine Travail May. And it says, the memorial plaques record the names of those who have been associated with Ipswich and Diss area Quaker meeting, and whose ashes have been scattered in this burial ground. Now, on my walks I often see roadkill, dead animals, animals that have been killed on the side of the road. It always breaks my heart, or my cat catches a mouse and the mouse is either dead or dying. There's nothing I can do to save it. I don't want anybody to die, and I care more about the animals than the humans. I think humans should live their lives as if they were like angels to the animals. We're not here to, to grab things for ourselves. We're here to serve God. That's the way that we can enjoy life. Everything else just leaves endless rounds of suffering in samsara. So we need to fulfill our angelic potential from other people's side. I mean, we don't go around thinking that we're angels, but we're aware that we may appear in all sorts of different ways, in all sorts of different beneficial ways to other people. So I'm about to go to this church, and I really have no idea what I look like when I appear as a person in the world of other people, this web that other people are weaving around themselves. Am I just a fly and they're the spider? I think it's going to be my custom from now on, socially, to encourage people to insult, or at least severely criticize, and have a good laugh about this person that I've lived, this person I've been living up till now. Let's just have a good laugh. I mean, it's ridiculous. This so-called artist, Douglas Dixon Westbury. What a joke, what a hoot. 1965 to 2018. Basically, I consider myself to be a ghostly apparition from now on. Does that make sense? So that's Turn Lane. And now we're coming up to St Mary's Church on Church Lane. Comes a car. See, in Woodbridge you've got all sorts of nice little nooks and crannies. Some fantastic properties if you want to come and live in this part of the world. In the 17th century they called this area around Ipswich Paradise Earth. Why they had to sail? Hazardous conditions to New England, I have no idea. When they already found paradise here. So this is it. Parish Church of St Mary the Virgin. Morning. Now this building on the right, underneath this fantastic tree, is where Poppy's cafe is for the Realise Futures project. I'd like to do some volunteering there if they'll accept me. But that building was where my mother took me for Sunday school when I was a child, in there. And then my grandmother used to drive from Playford Village, rather than go to St Mary's Church in Playford Village and be part of that congregation. She chose instead to drive out here and come to St Mary's. I need to point out these symbols here are really quite significant. I mean, that's just the wheel of the Dhamma. It says, in happy memory of Pam Batchelor, good friend to the Blind Club, 1979 to 2002. But you see, this has got an M and a crown, because Mary is the Queen of Heaven and the Mother of God. And she's the first to see the resurrected Christ. She takes him for the gardener. So when they built this church, this was like the equivalent of a visual meme for the people of the time. When they're meditating, they would see these. It's like entopic forms. Morning.
Good morning.
So, are you going to Sunday school? Okay, see you later then. Shall we go in? O Lord, open unto me the gates of thy mercy.